Have you ever wondered if there is something good in you, even when your mind feels messy? Have you ever asked yourself why compassion feels natural sometimes and impossible other times? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to explore a teaching that sounds simple and yet can completely change how you see yourself and everyone around you. Basic goodness. Not as a motivational slogan, not as a way to deny pain, but as a deep reminder that beneath the storms of mood, habit, and history, there is a workable heart. When you touch that workable heart, compassion stops feeling like a performance. It starts feeling like a home you can return to. There are two ideas that will quietly carry everything you hear in this long story. First, basic goodness does not mean you are perfect. It means there is something fundamentally sane and caring inside you that can be trained and strengthened. Second, compassion is not only a feeling. It is a skill rooted in awareness. When awareness grows, compassion grows. When compassion grows, your karma changes, not as a mystical scoreboard, but as the momentum of your repeated mind states becoming your daily life, and your daily life becoming the direction you call destiny. Let me begin with a story that could be anyone's story. There was a person named Noah who looked fine in public. Noah had a decent routine, showed up to work, handled responsibilities, answered messages, laughed at the right moments, and kept moving. But inside, Noah carried a private fear. The fear was not always loud. Sometimes it was a quiet pressure under the ribs. Sometimes it was a sharp impatience at small inconveniences. Sometimes it was a flat numbness that arrived after scrolling for too long. Noah had learned to manage life by controlling the outer world as much as possible, because the inner world felt unpredictable. Noah would hear people talk about compassion and think, "That sounds nice, but my mind is not built like that. My mind is built for stress. My mind is built for surviving." Noah believed that kindness was a personality trait you either had or did not have. Noah believed that calm people were lucky. Noah believed that spiritual people were a different species. Then, one afternoon, Noah had a moment that was not dramatic, but it was honest. Noah snapped at someone who did not deserve it. The other person did not even fight back. They just looked hurt and walked away. Noah felt the sting immediately. Not only guilt, but a deeper sadness. Noah realized that the worst part was not that he had a bad day. The worst part was the feeling that he was becoming a person he did not want to be, and he did not know how to stop it. That night Noah searched for something, anything, that did not feel like another productivity hack. He found a short talk by a meditation teacher known for speaking with warmth and humor. Someone who talked about compassion like it was practical, not poetic. The teacher spoke about basic goodness, and he said something that sounded almost too kind to be true. He said that beneath anxiety, beneath anger, beneath depression, beneath all the stories you tell yourself, there is a basic goodness that is already present. Not something you have to manufacture, something you have to recognize. Noah scoffed at first, then Noah felt strangely relieved. Because if basic goodness is real, then Noah is not doomed to live inside his worst habits forever. If basic goodness is real, then the story is not finished. Noah decided to attend a local meditation group. He did not go wearing hope like a costume. He went wearing exhaustion like a heavy jacket. The group met in a small room with plain chairs and quiet faces. The teacher that night was named Daniel, a student of teachers who emphasized compassion and awareness. Daniel began the session not by promising enlightenment, but by telling a small story. Imagine the mind is like a sky. Thoughts and emotions are like weather. When the weather is intense, you think the sky is destroyed. But the sky is not destroyed by storms. The sky is still the sky. Basic goodness is like that. It is the sky-like quality of awareness. The part of you that can know experience without being completely swallowed by it. Noah did not fully understand, but the metaphor touched something. Noah had been living as if the storm was identity. Daniel was suggesting that the ability to notice the storm is already a kind of freedom. Daniel guided a simple practice. Do not try to force calm. Do not try to force kindness. Just notice what is here. And notice that you can notice. Feel the breath. Feel the body. Let the mind do what it does. And keep returning gently. Noah sat. The mind was loud. The body was restless. The inner critic began speaking immediately. This is pointless. You are bad at this. You cannot even sit still. Everyone else is calmer than you. Noah almost quit. Then Daniel said something that felt like it was aimed directly at him. He said, if judgment appears, notice judgment. That noticing is awareness. Awareness is already the beginning of compassion. Because awareness is not attacking. Awareness is simply present. Noah tried again. He noticed the breath. He noticed the tightness in the chest. He noticed the thought, I am failing. He noticed the urge to run away. And then he noticed something else. The simple fact that he could notice all of it. That tiny shift created a tiny space. In that space, the inner critics softened for a moment. It did not disappear. But it was no longer the only voice. After the sit, Noah stayed behind and asked Daniel, what does basic goodness mean if I still get angry and jealous and cruel sometimes? Daniel smiled gently and said, basic goodness is not a certificate that you are always nice. Basic goodness is the underlying capacity for warmth, clarity, and care. When you forget it, you act from fear. When you remember it, you act from wisdom. Practice is how you remember more often. Noah felt a new question rise. If practice is remembering, then maybe I can learn. Maybe my mind is not fixed. Daniel then spoke about compassion as something you can train the way you train a muscle. He said, sometimes people think compassion means feeling everyone else's pain. That is empathy, and empathy can become overwhelming. Compassion is different. Compassion includes care, but it also includes steadiness. Compassion is courageous because it does not run away from pain, and it does not drown in pain either. It stays present and chooses a wise response. Noah recognized himself in the drowning part. Noah had often felt overwhelmed by the suffering of people close to him. Then he would shut down. He had confused shutting down with strength. In reality, shutting down was just exhaustion. Daniel offered a short practice that sounded almost too simple. Place a hand on your chest. Feel the warmth of your own palm. Breathe and say inwardly, may I be kind, not as a magic spell, as a direction, as a reminder of your basic goodness. Noah did it. He felt awkward. Then he felt tears rise unexpectedly. The tears were not dramatic sadness. They were relief. Relief that he was allowed to be human without being punished by his own mind. This was the first turning point. Noah realized that the harsh inner voice was not truth. It was a habit. And habits can change. When habits change, karma changes. When karma changes, the future changes. Over the next weeks, Noah practiced a few minutes each morning. He did not become a saint. He became more honest. He noticed how reactive he was. He noticed how quickly he judged. He noticed how the mind searched for threats. And he noticed something even more important. Sometimes he could pause. The pause was the miracle. One morning, Noah was in a grocery store line and the cashier was slow. The person in front of him asked too many questions. Noah felt impatience ignite. The old pattern would be silent rage, then a sarcastic comment later, then guilt. This time, Noah noticed the impatience. Just noticing it was different. He remembered the hand on the chest. He took one breath and silently said, may I be kind. The impatience did not vanish, but it's often enough for choice to appear. Noah looked up and saw the cashier was tired. Hands moving quickly but not quickly enough for the line. Noah saw the person asking questions was anxious, maybe counting money, maybe afraid of making a mistake. Noah felt a small flicker of tenderness, not because he was pretending, because his attention widened. That widening is basic goodness expressing itself. Noah left the store and felt a quiet pride that did not feel like ego. It felt like dignity. He had not fed the fire. He had not poisoned his own mind. That is compassionate karma. As the practice continued, Noah began to understand something that changed how he saw destiny. Destiny was not only about the big events you cannot control. Destiny was also about the inner posture you bring to every event. If your posture is chronic defensiveness, you experience life as a battlefield. If your posture is basic goodness, you experience life as challenging but workable. The outer world might still be messy, but your participation changes. Your relationships change. Your choices change. And those changes accumulate. Then Noah faced a bigger test, a relationship conflict. Noah had a friend named Leah. They cared about each other, but they had a pattern. Leah would vent intensely. Noah would either try to fix or shut down. If he tried to fix, Leah felt unseen. If he shut down, Leah felt abandoned. Either way, the conversation ended badly. One evening, Leah called and began speaking fast, listing problems, blaming people, spiraling into despair. Noah felt the familiar overwhelm. The nervous system tightened. The mind started preparing advice. Then Noah remembered something Daniel had said. Compassionate listening begins when you stop trying to control the outcome. Noah took one breath. He listened for the suffering under Leah's words. Under the anger, he heard fear. Under the blame, he heard loneliness. Noah said slowly, "I hear how heavy this is. I hear you feel alone in it." Leah paused. Her voice changed. She said, "Yes, I feel like nobody understands." Noah stayed present. He did not lecture. He did not rush. He asked a gentle question. "What part feels the hardest right now?" Leah began to cry. Noah listened. He felt his own anxiety, and he kept breathing. This was compassion with steadiness. Empathy might have drowned. Compassion stayed like a lamp. After the call, Noah felt tired, but he did not feel resentful. That was new. He realized that what drained him before was not caring. What drained him was inner resistance, the fight to escape discomfort, the pressure to fix, the fear of being needed. When he stayed with basic goodness, his heart could care without collapsing. This became the second turning point. Noah understood that basic goodness is not only a concept. It is a direct experience you can taste when you are present. When you are present, you can be kind without forcing it. When you are not present, you either perform kindness or you abandon it. Noah began to practice presence more intentionally. He noticed the body throughout the day. The tight jaw, the raised shoulders, the fast breath. These were signals that the mind had drifted into threat mode. When he noticed those signals, he would return to breath and soften the inner tone. May I be calm. May I be kind. Over time, Noah also began to notice the difference between compassion and people-pleasing. In the past, he had confused kindness with saying yes. He would overcome, then resentment would leak out as sarcasm or withdrawal. Now he practiced a different kindness with boundaries. A co-worker asked Noah to take on extra work at the last minute. Noah felt the old panic, fear of disappointing. Then he paused. He asked himself, if I say yes from fear, what happens? He knew the answer. He would feel trapped, then angry, then bitter. That bitterness would harm him and probably harm others. So Noah chose a compassionate no. He said, I cannot take that today. I can help you find another solution, or I can support tomorrow. The co-worker reacted with irritation. Noah felt discomfort and stayed steady. Later, Noah realized he had protected his heart without attacking anyone. That is wisdom. That is ethics. That is compassion in action. This is where the Buddhist thread of ethics becomes very practical. Ethical conduct is not moral pride. It is choosing actions that reduce suffering, including future suffering. When you act from fear, you often create regret. Regret becomes mental burden. Burden becomes bitterness. Bitterness becomes destiny if repeated. Ethical choices lighten the mind. A lighter mind has more room for compassion. Noah also faced his harsh inner critic again and again. The critic would say, "You are not good enough. You are selfish. You are failing. You are behind." At first, Noah believed it. Then he learned to see the critic as a frightened protector. The critic thought harshness would keep him safe. But harshness made him tense. Tension made him reactive. Reactivity made him mess up more. The critic was creating the very outcomes it feared. So Noah practiced compassion toward the critic. When the critic appeared, Noah would place a hand on his chest and say inwardly, "I hear you. Thank you for trying to protect me. I am here. We can choose a kinder way." This changed everything slowly. One day Noah made a mistake at work that would normally trigger his chiral. He felt the heat of shame rise. The old habit would be self-punishment, then hiding, then more mistakes. This time he paused. He named it. Shame is here. He felt it in the body. Tight throat, hot face. He breathed and remembered basic goodness. Basic goodness does not mean never making mistakes. Basic goodness means you can learn without hatred. Noah apologized to the person affected. He corrected the error. He moved on. He felt the strength of repair. Repair is compassion made real. Many people think spiritual practice is about never getting messy. Real practice is about getting messy and then repairing without self-destruction. This is where destiny shifts in a real way. A person who cannot repair will repeat the same harm, because shame blocks learning. A person who can repair grows wiser over time. Wiser people create less suffering. Less suffering creates better relationships. Better relationships create a better life. Noah began to feel a different kind of confidence. Not arrogance, but trust in his capacity to return. Return to breath. Return to kindness. Return to honesty. Return to basic goodness. Months passed. Noah kept practicing. Some days were bright. Some days were dark. The difference was that dark days no longer felt like proof of being broken. They felt like weather. The mind could be cloudy, and he could still be kind. That was the true gift. Now I want to bring in a deeper layer, because the teaching of basic goodness can sound naive if you misunderstand it. Some people think it means ignoring suffering, ignoring injustice, ignoring harm. That is not it. Basic goodness does not deny that people do harmful things. It does not deny that the world can be cruel. It does not deny that trauma is real. Basic goodness points to the possibility that even in a world of pain, the heart can remain human. That humanity is not weakness. It is the most courageous thing. Noah faced this when he encountered harshness in the world. Online comments, political arguments, people mocking others, people dehumanizing groups. In the past, Noah would either join the rage or shut down. Now he practiced a third way. He would feel the pain of seeing cruelty, then choose one action that reduced suffering. Sometimes that action was donating. Sometimes it was speaking calmly in a conversation. Sometimes it was refusing to share hateful content. Sometimes it was simply not feeding his own hatred, because hatred is contagious, and the first person it burns is the person holding it. This is compassion as courageous ethics. You do not need to save the world alone. You do need to avoid becoming a person who adds poison to the world. That is a real contribution. Noah began to understand the Bodhisattva spirit in a simple way. To live so that your life reduces suffering as much as possible. Not perfection, direction. At this point, Noah returned to Daniel and said something like, "I still get angry. I still get lost. But I also feel something new. Like there is a warmth under everything." Daniel smiled and said, "That warmth is basic goodness. It is not created by practice. It is revealed by practice. Practice removes the fog." The light was always there. Noah asked, "So what is the relationship between awareness and compassion?" Daniel answered, "Awareness is the ground. Compassion is the natural expression of awareness when it is not covered by fear. When you are present, you see people as real. When you see people as real, kindness becomes more natural. Noah felt that. He remembered the grocery store line. He remembered the call with Leah. He remembered the boundary with the coworker. Those moments had one thing in common. He was present. Now I want to speak to you directly. Because this teaching is not meant to be a nice story about Noah. It is meant to be a mirror. If you have ever believed you are fundamentally flawed, consider the possibility that what feels flawed is habit, not essence. Habits are powerful, but they are not permanent. Under habit, there is awareness. Under awareness, there is basic goodness. You do not need to force yourself to believe this as an idea. You can test it through practice. Here is a gentle practice you can do even while listening. Let your breath be natural. Feel one inhale, one exhale. Notice that you can notice. Now place a hand on your chest if you want. Feel the warmth of your palm. Say inwardly, "May I be kind." If the mind argues, notice the argument. That noticing is awareness. Awareness is already a form of nonviolence. Now bring to mind one person you care about. Offer goodwill. May you be safe. May you be calm. May you be kind. Now bring to mind yourself again, especially the part of you that feels ashamed or tired. Offer the same goodwill. May I be safe. May I be calm. May I be kind. Stay for a few breaths. That is practice. That is remembering. Back to the story. Noah started noticing something almost funny. The more he practiced basic goodness, the more he could laugh at his own mind without cruelty. He would catch himself catastrophizing and think, "My mind is dramatic." Then he would breathe. Humor can be compassionate. Humor can soften rigidity. Rigid minds suffer. Soft minds adapt. Noah also noticed that compassion became easier when he took care of the body. Sleep, food, movement. He realized that sometimes what looks like a moral failure is actually exhaustion. Exhaustion shrinks the heart. Rest opens it. This is not an excuse for harm. It is a reminder that wise compassion includes caring for the conditions that allow goodness to express itself. This is a Buddhist insight too. Dependent origination. Everything arises from causes and conditions. If you want compassion, create the conditions. If you want calm, create the conditions. If you want less reactivity, create the conditions. Practice is creating conditions. Noah began to adjust his days. Less late night scrolling. More morning breathing. More walking. More honest conversations. More boundaries. The changes were not glamorous, but they were transformative. One night, Noah had a moment that felt like the quiet climax of the whole journey. He was alone. The old loneliness arrived. In the past, loneliness would trigger panic and distraction. This time, Noah sat with it. He placed a hand on his chest and listened inwardly. He said, "Hello, loneliness. I see you." The loneliness softened. It did not vanish, but it became workable. Noah realized that the opposite of loneliness is not constant company. The opposite of loneliness is self-companionship rooted in basic goodness. When you can be with yourself kindly, you stop chasing people for rescue. You relate more honestly. You love more freely. That is destiny changing. As we come to the end of this long talk, I want to offer a final reflection that ties everything together. Basic goodness is not a claim that life is easy. It is a claim that your heart is workable. Compassion is not a demand that you be sweet all the time. It is a training that helps you stay human in a world that rewards hardness. Karma is not only something that happens after you die. Karma is happening now as the momentum of what you repeat in your mind and in your behavior. If you repeat hatred, hatred becomes home. If you repeat kindness, kindness becomes home. If you repeat awareness, you gain choice. And choice is freedom. I have seen people change through this kind of practice in very ordinary ways. Someone who used to explode learned to pause and breathe and repair. Someone who used to people please learned to set boundaries without hatred. Someone who hated themselves learned to speak inwardly with kindness and discovered they became braver, not weaker. Someone who felt numb learned to feel again without drowning. These are not fairy tales. They are the fruit of repeated small returns. If you are listening right now and you feel far from compassion, please do not use that as a reason to judge yourself. Use it as information. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you are carrying pain. Maybe you learned to survive by hardening. That survival was intelligent then. Now you can learn a new intelligence. Remembering basic goodness. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this story resonated, share your experience in the comments in your own words. Tell me what basic goodness means to you, or what makes it hard to believe, and what practice helps you return even a little. And if you want more long-form teachings like this, please subscribe, like the video, and support the channel in whatever way is possible for you. Until next time, keep breathing, keep practicing, and keep choosing the kindest next step.